Go ahead.
What I was waiting for.
I do want to make one announcement for the members of the public, just to let you know that this meeting is being recorded, so there's no expectation of privacy. Anything that you say and or do would be captured on video and recorded. So with that, we'll proceed.
Thank you, Kia. Good morning and welcome to the Philadelphia Commission of Human Relations public session today, February 17, 2022. The first item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. Any corrections? All right, no corrections noted. I move that we accept the minutes as they are submitted into the records. Next up are cases recommended for closing. I will ask for recusals after I read the cases. Give me 1 second while I find the cases. Here we are. The cases recommended for closing for February 2022 are as follows. Under employment, we have Dantea Trippett versus City of Philadelphia, Tierra Fuller versus PMHCC Incorporated, Beverly Reddick versus Jay's Breakfast and Lunch, Randall Schatz versus Amazon.com Incorporated, Rosemary Rogers versus Wawa, Rosemary Rogers versus Lowe's, Craig W.H. David versus Temple University Hospital, Desiree Topping versus Philadelphia Job Corps. Under housing, we have Ann Silver versus Arbor House Incorporated, Federation Housing Incorporated, and Ephraim Goldstein Apartments. And Deborah Gallagher on behalf of Frederick Rodriguez Minor versus Justin Benoit. Those are the cases that are recommended for closing. Are there any recusals?
I have a recusal on employment number 7.
Noted, thank you. All right, no other recusals. Can I have a motion to accept the cases? I see both Commissioner Austin and Commissioner Alpert. I'll take that as a first and a second. All in favor? Awesome. With that, the cases have been accepted, and I will turn the meeting over to our Executive Director, Kia.
Thank you, Shalimar. Okay, I am going to provide a brief report of the highlights that have happened since our last meeting in January. Starting with legislation, the Do Not Solicit a Homeowner Protection Law is up. Web information is up on our website, and homeowners will now have access to information about that law. And they will also be able to sign up directly on our website for the service. And they will also be able to contact our dedicated hotline if they are unable to access the website. In terms of compliance, on February 3rd, myself, Deputy Director Pamela Gwaltney, Principal Attorney Karen Foreman started an executive leadership program for the EEOC. It's a 10-session program that will culminate in a leadership capstone project focusing on civil rights enforcement, change management, and building high-performing teams. My next update relates to prevention and education. HR Representative David Oliver conducted a conflict resolution training for 60 students at Dobson Middle School. HR Representative Boonrat Mott is working with the Cambodian Association of Greater Philadelphia on a distribution and education strategy for the PCHR Good Neighbor Guide for the Cambodian community. HR Representative Abigail Sue assisted various community groups with Lunar New Year events with the goal of bridging cross-cultural understanding. My next update will be in terms of conflict response. HR Representatives Tiara Thomas and David Oliver held 2 student and family mediations for student conflicts that had escalated into the communities of schools in West and Northwest Philadelphia. HR Representative Carlos Aviles has successfully resolved a number of neighborhood conflict issues that were revealed through his investigation of a neighbor dispute that was referred to PCHR through the Office of LGBTQ Affairs in the Police Department. Other noteworthy events for this reporting period: on February 3rd, myself and Deputy Director Randy Duque met with the city's interagency strategy group as part of a comprehensive intergovernmental action plan to mend community tensions and increase anti-hate messaging in the wake of the November assault on Asian students from Central High School in SEPTA. Our strategy will include external and internal partners to implement a multimedia campaign of anti-violence and anti-hate, dynamic community engagement opportunities, and processes that will analyze systemic failures. Our next internal meeting will be February 23rd. In addition to our intergovernmental action plan, we are partnering with the Office of Public Engagement on a series of events focused on building cross-racial conversations and dialogue to promote cooperation and mutual understanding in Asian and Black communities. As part of our partnership, PCHR will plan listening sessions designed to create open dialogues around race. And we will also plan a leadership series that will educate community members and leaders on how to facilitate dialogue and provide strategies for managing conflict between their stakeholder groups. On February 9th, Deputy Director Randy Duque co-moderated a town hall meeting organized by the Philadelphia Office of Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy. The meeting centered on a proposal for a controversial statue, the Statue of Peace, which is a commemoration to girls and women who were forced into sex slavery and servitude during World War II. Randy provided information to address concerns based on the research that he conducted into whether or not similar statutes in other locations had caused increases in anti-Asian hate and discrimination. On February 11th, PCHR co-hosted a training along with the Office of Immigrant Affairs and the Office of Public Engagement for Philadelphia's AAPI community leaders to help them learn more about community-based strategies to assist victims of hate and bias incidents. This survivor-centered and rapid response model was established by the Asian American Federation of New York in response to a spike in anti-Asian hate and violence in New York City. On February 25th, 2022, Deputy Director Randy Duque will participate on 2 virtual panels for the Philadelphia Bar Association. The first is the Cora Good Shepherd Mediation Workshop, everything you ever wanted to know about becoming a mediator. And the second is a virtual CLE discussing creating safe schools. On February 26th, I will participate in a virtual listening session centered on anti-Black racism and its effects on the lives of Black and non-Black persons of color, as well as white communities. This discussion will help participants, particularly youth, understand and identify anti-Blackness and best practices for disrupting it. On February 28th, Deputy Director Pam Gwaltney will facilitate a training at the Pennsylvania Bar Association on fair housing and housing discrimination issues. For this month, there were 7 confirmed hate incidents reported to us, and we are working to assist those victims of those hate and bias incidents. With that, that will conclude my report. Are there any questions about anything that you've heard so far? Okay, hearing none, I will turn it back. Oh, our next executive session is scheduled for March 11th, and our public session will be held on March 18th. And I'll turn it back over to you, Shalimar.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the public? All right. As Kia mentioned, our next executive sessions will take place on March 11th and the 18th. Readers for that month are myself, along with Commissioners Ricks, Zulfikar, and Shaw. Can I have a motion to adjourn? I see a first and second by Commissioner Austin and Commissioner Zulfikar. All in favor? Thank you. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you. Everyone enjoy. Be safe. All right.